build a really quick, good commander. This is my Sigarda deck. I think we've already gone through this a couple of times, but I'm going to do it one more time. This is Sigarda, host of Herons. She costs 2 plains, 1 forest, and two colorless. She's a 5/5 angel with fly, hexproof. Spells and abilities cannot make you sacrifice target permanents. So she's pretty nasty. She likes to basically not be messed with. So I put her in a green sleeve and a hard case, clear case, so that she doesn't get ruined. So I'm going to show you guys what I have so far and kind of what I would suggest, maybe how I would make my deck. So let's go. So we already know that Sigarda is going to be our commander. So the whole thing here is Sigarda's got 2 abilities. There's 2 ways to work with Sigarda. You can make her enchantment, which is the way that I'm going to show you guys, and the artifact way, which I don't have, and I'm not going to teach you guys that because I don't really like to do artifacts, equipped anything with artifacts unless my artifacts can use or be able to do things, because artifacts get targeted the most, more than I think enchantments. So yeah, so this is Sigarda. Okay, let's get started. This is my deck all together, so let's get started. First one will let you search your library for ores, equip cards, and you have to reveal it and then put that card in your hand and then shuffle it. Basically, just search it out, show everyone, and say, "Hey, this is what I got," and then put it in your hand and shuffle the library. So it's really good. Now, the whole point of Sigarda is you're going to want to get her out as fast as you can, and you're going to want to try to equip her as fast as you possibly can. And that's just kind of the basics of a Sigarda deck. Of this Sigarda deck is just search, equip, and kill as fast as possible. So this will allow you to open armory, will allow you to search for equip, which is really nice because I like that because I can search for like indestructible or Eldrazi or just something that most of the time I will search for indestructible when I use this. So I try to take this opportunity to put indestructible on Sigarda, and then Sigarda will stay a little bit longer to do her job. And it just makes it harder. So that's kind of one of the reasons why this is a good staple. It's a sorcery, and it only costs 1 plains and 1 colorless. And it's a really good card. It's fairly cheap, I'm sure. So, another one. Aegis Angel. 2 plains, 4 colorless. She's an angel. This creature cannot be blocked except by creatures with fly or reach. So, of course, you guys probably already figured that out. Aegis Angel enters the battlefield. Another target permanent gains indestructible for as long as you control Aegis Angel. Effects of that say destroy it. Creature with indestructible cannot be destroyed. She's a 5/5, so she's basically just like Sigarda, but only she just costs 2 white and 4 colorless. So the reason why for this one, again, most cards that I'm going to add in my deck are going to have abilities. So this one has the ability to gain somebody indestructible. So if Sigarda was on the field here, and I just played her Aegis Angel, I would give Sigarda Indestructible, or maybe if I had another card. So most of the time I will want to give something indestructible to protect. Now it is kind of expensive, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, "Oh, Romeo, it's so expensive. Why?" Yes, it is expensive, but yes, it does good. I want a lot of things to stay on the board, and that's the point of this Sigarda deck, is try to keep things on the board and let them stay there. And as annoying as the deck... Oops, sorry guys. This deck can get very annoying very quickly, and you'll see how a lot of my stuff can get really juicy, a little spicy. So I'm kind of just basically going for the, you know, I'm here, and you know that I'm going to want to fight, so bring it. Kind of, kind of thing. So, but she will bring fights, and she will keep my stuff on. This card will keep your stuff on the board. It is kind of expensive mono-wise, but it does give a good ability to keep a creature or something. Keep one of your creatures on the board a little bit longer. Planes, um, yeah, nothing special. Nothing special. Just planes. I'm not using like regular planes. I'm kind of using standard. But these are a little more, I guess what we'll call beefed up, if you will. The beefed up version of the planes and forests. So nothing really special. Again, most of my creatures that I'm going to have in my deck are going to do something. I'm not going to have any cards in there that are going to do absolutely squat. Excuse me. I want to be able to do a lot of things with my deck. I want my deck to interact with, helping Sigarda or helping get me where I want to be to get Sigarda to where she needs to be. So this would be the Emra Shepherd. She is a 4/4 and with fly, and she's an angel. 2 whites, 5 colorless. So landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield under my control, I may return target non-land permanent card from my grave to my hand. If that land is a plains, I may return that non-land permanent to the battlefield instead. So, sorry guys. So this one kind of just says, if I get her on the field and I have a non-land permanent in my grave, then I can return that to my hand, or if it's a plains, I can return it back to the battlefield. So this kind of lets me bring something back no matter what. So whatever I do, I'm going to get something out from this. She's going to give me something from the grave no matter what. So if I lose a little bit of like a non-land permanent or a plains or a... Okay. So it is a little expensive mono-wise. Again, for being a 4/4, it is expensive, but it's really good. This one you're going to want to have in your deck. Like I said, it will give you non-land permanent back to your hand, or if it's you can get it back to the field immensely. I have Superver Petol Grove. Actually, just this is another way to kind of get Sigarda to come out a little bit faster. It helps. If it's your first turn and this is what you have in your hand, don't worry about it being tapped. It's okay. It's okay if it comes in tapped the first turn. I'm not too worried about it, but that's okay. Shield of the Overseer. This is a enchantment. Again, most of my cards in here are going to be enchantment creatures. and some other stuff. So it costs one green, one white, or both, double card, and two colorless. So enchanted creature, as long as enchanted creature is green, it gets a 1/1 and is indestructible. As long as enchanted creature is white, it gets a 1/1 and has fly. So for this card being just one double color, or one green, one white, and two extras, this is a card that you definitely want to put on Sigarda. Now, Sigarda is a green and white card, so this will work on her. And this is another way for her to have help with being indestructible and getting that 1/1 that she wants. So this 1/1 is something that Sigarda really loves to have, and that is a good thing to keep on your Sigarda deck. Savage Silhouette. Not very many people have this in their deck list. I just use it because it's fun to screw around with. It's one green, two colorless. It's an enchantment. So enchanted creature gets a +2/+2 and has regenerate. So let's say you got, your card out there that you want to protect, or you got Sigarda out there, and it's going to die. So you can tap one forest and one colorless, and that creature stays alive. It's a really good card. I just have it in there because it can regenerate, and it can make it a lot easier so that I know Sigarda can stay a little bit longer. And it helps, gives her protection until at least I can get indestructible on her. So that's kind of a way for me to back up and just keep her alive. But when I do get indestructible on her, then I'm not worried about the regenerate unless it's a complete board wipe. But even if I know that she possibly could die at any time, I can still do the regenerate until I could possibly get another indestructible or something on her, something on Sigarda, or another creature that I want to keep her on for a while. So this is another way to kind of keep some of your little pesky creatures on the field for a while. Oath of Ajani. Now this one's really not, I would say, I don't think on the list. I don't know. But it's just one forest and one plains. Legendary enchantment. When the Oath of Ajani enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So this one, no matter what, this enchantment, instead of just doing it to one card, the whole entire field. So whatever creature are on field, you're going to get that 1/1. They're going to get 1/1. And that's really good too, because if you get Sigarda on there, Sigarda's going to get it too. Or even if you haven't casted Sigarda yet, then you can put this card out and then put Sigarda out there, and then Sigarda gets her to become the 6/6 that she wishes to be. But also, Planeswalker spells you cast cost one less to cast, which is good. So that helps all your creatures, and then any Planeswalkers, which we do have one in here, we'll get to it, will cost one. The spells will cost one less to cast. Again, another Tranquil expansion. This comes in the battlefield tab. It's a double land. So again, my double lands are in there. Plains. Blind Obedience. This one I love. I have not told you how many times this one could save your butt. It's an enchantment, so artifacts and creatures your opponent control enter the battlefield tapped. So once you play this, and it will cost one plains and one colorless, not too spendy. But once you play this, so any artifact creatures that your opponent want to play will now enter the battlefield tapped, which means even if they have haste, they have to be tapped. They won't get to attack first turn. So that kind of spaces out, it kind of controls it so that it makes it a little bit harder for you to be attacked. And that's what kind of keeps, again, Sigarda a little bit safer, is some of these cards that keep her shielded for the time being until she gets a little bit stronger for kills. Bear Umbra. It's an enchantment and it costs 2 forest, 2 colorless. Enchanted creature gets a 2/2 and has, whenever this creature attacks, untap all lands I control. So this is really cool too because I can give Sigarda a 2/2 or another creature that I want to keep around for a while, a 2/2. So I can give one of my creatures or Sigarda a 2/2, and whenever that creature attacks, I can untap all land, and I can then, if I have maybe some more goodies up my sleeve or more enchantments or whatever, I can play them. So that's really good. Mother of Ruins. This card is a 1 plains, costs 1 plains. It's a creature, human clerk. So tap target creature you control gains protection from the color of your my choice until the end of turn. So I tap her, or I would tap Sigarda or whatever. Well, I tap her. So I could tap this, and then my target creature would gain protection from any color that I choose until the end of turn. She is a 1/1, but it's not more. This isn't really about using her to throw punches at people. This, again, most of my creatures are going to be used only for their abilities, which is their creature spells, which would be this. So this kind of protects any creature for a while, but she can throw punches, but it would be a 1/1, so it would kind of be pointless to try to do this because you would end up killing her. But it's just mostly I use this for the abilities. Again, we're not even halfway done here, folks. Sorry. Your Sigarda. Plains. Explosive Vegetation. Now, another thing about my Sigarda deck is the ability to manifest mana as fast as I can at any point. That's another reason why I like my deck, because I can do things like Explosive Vegetation. It's a sorcery. I can search my library for up to 2 basic lands, put them on the play, tap, then shuffle my library. So this card only costs me 1 forest and 3 colorless, and I can search my library. Again, this is another thing that you want to have in your Sigarda deck is abilities to quickly be able to mono ramp as fast as you can, so that you can get Sigarda out or get Sigarda protected and be able to put enchantments on her. Sylvan Ranger. She's a creature, a 1 forest, 1 colorless elf creature. So when Sylvan Ranger enters the battlefield, I may search my library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into my hand, then shuffle my library. Again, even though it's not on the battlefield, it's in my hand. That's okay. I'll take that, because if I get mana screwed and I can set her out, I will definitely try to use her to get mana out as fast as I can. So any amount of mana that I can put on the field the quickest way is the best way. She is a 1/1, not that good, again, for fighting. It's more for the ability. Plains, forest, oak form. Oak form is a enchantment, and it gives my creature a 3/3. Nothing else really special about this card. It only gives me +3/+3. I can enchant my creature for +3/+3. It will cost me 1 forest and 2 colorless. So again, whatever I can do to up my up Sigarda, to get Sigarda to be beefier and a little bit more of a threat to people, then that's the best kind of enchantment I want. Selsvian Gate, if I said it right, good. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Again, there's my double mana, my double land. This one comes in tapped. So again, I use definitely double land as a to play, because it just will help. Another planes. Sigarda's Aid. Now, Sigarda Aid is one card that you will want in your Sigarda deck. If you're going to play enchantments, or if you're going to have any enchantment in your deck, this is the way to go. So, Sigarda Aid only costs 1 planes. It's an enchantment, so whenever I can cast a aura, equip, spell, I can play it as though they had flash. So, meaning any enchantment I can play as a instant. And when I'm equipping card enters the battlefield under my control, I may attach it to target creature I control. So that's really good. It gives me the fast ability to. You would kind of want this out on the first turn. You would hope to get this on the first turn. So then, after the first turn, all your other enchantments and auras and other stuff can be like instants, and you can just instantaneously pop it on Sigarda, just boom, 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 and you don't have to wait. You can just put it on Sigarda, and that's another good thing. Temple of the False God is a I can tap it for 2 colorless mana, but I can only activate this if there are 5 or more lands on the field, or if I control 5 or more lands. Something that you would really probably not use in the first part of the game. You would wanna. It would be more used for the later game, if you can survive that long. And it's good. It's like Soul Ring, so it's another version of Soul Ring, but this one just has a little kind of catch to it. Battle Mastery. Sorry guys, I'm getting neck cramped. Battle Mastery. It costs 1 plains, 2 colorless. It's an enchantment. So enchanted creature has double strike. So this would give Sigarda the ability to strike twice. So if you have Sigarda on a high level, or with high counters, and she, for instance, is a 17, you can literally kill. And if you're able to, you could probably kill 1 person and then attack the other person, the next person. You could possibly kill 2 people just by giving her the ability to strike twice. The Sound of Free Linzo, if I call it right, I'm sorry if I didn't. My next turn, all creatures I gain can be 1 mana to any color. which is good. It's not bad. And then on the third one, I could put a 1/1 counter on each creature. Those creatures gain Vigilance, Trample, and Indestructible until the end of turn. So this is a card that I really like to have in my Sigarda deck. Mostly the first one I really don't care about. We don't care about that one. It's the third one. So about my third turn or whatever, I can just give Sigarda a 1/1 Vigilance and Indestructible and Trample for the end of the turn. So if that's good, even if I don't have any other cards that give her that, and I could just use that for one turn to possibly destroy or make an impact on somebody or ruin somebody's game, that is definitely worth it. 1 forest and 1 colorless. Plains. Command Tower. I love this card. I love this card. This is an awesome card because, let's say you got 1 green, couple forests, and you have enough to possibly pull Sigarda out. So you can add 1 mana color of any color to the commander color identity. So you can use this to help pull out Sigarda. And that is really cool because it's not easy sometimes to get the colors that you need to pull out your commander. Sorry, guys. And so it's a little bit harder, but this helps make it a little bit easier. It's Forest. Mesa Enchantress. A 2 white, 1 colorless human druid. So whenever I cast an enchantment spell, I can draw a card. Again, I'm not looking to pick a fight with this creature. I don't really want to pick a fight with her. I'm just using her. So whenever I cast an enchantment, I can draw a card. Possibly helping me to do more stuff with Sigarda. So most of my creatures are not the creatures that are kind of the fight pickers. They're just here to help me have the effects. Trust in Selena's Voice. Another staple, I think, in the Sigarda deck. So whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, I can gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So yeah, so this one, again, not looking to pick the fight with this. I'm just using it for the ability. Also, 1 forest, 1 plains, 1 colorless. I can put tokens onto the battlefield. That's a copy of the creature you control. So I can put a token of Sigarda on the field. So I can use this card for 2 things. When I want to use this for populate, I could put maybe another creature of Sigarda. So I can have 2 Sigardas on the field. So 1 Sigarda is going to be the commander, the other is going to be the token Sigarda. And that is really cool. I haven't really used the populate part yet, but I just use it for the whenever another creature under my control comes in, I just do it for the life gain part. But I will try to maybe at some point try to use the populate part and wait until I get Sigarda in there, then use that. That's pretty cool. Snake Umbra, just like Bear Umbra. Enchanted creature gets a 1/1 and has, whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, I may draw a card. Sorry if I'm not reading up the costs. 1 forest, 2 colorless. It's an enchantment. So again, I know some of these cards in here probably are not the best, But even though it's a 1/1, it's not much kind of a big woohoo yeehaw kind of thing. It's really a big deal for Sigarda, even to get her to be a 6/6 or whatever. So, you got to take what you can. Armadillo Cloak, a enchantment that costs 1 forest, 1 white, and 1 colorless. So enchanted creature gets a +2/+2 and trample. This will give Sigarda a trample for the rest of the game. And whenever enchanted creature deals damage, you gain that much life. So this gives Sigarda a +2/+2, trample, and life gain. Which again is another big part of the Sigarda staple. Sigarda will help you gain life and make a kill. Here's another one that I have, Plead of Guidance. I think we already discussed that one. I'm not sure. 1 white, 5 colorless. It's a sorcery. Come on, camera. Stop. So in this one, compared to my other one, I can search up to 2 enchantment cards, reveal them, put them into my hand, and shuffle my library. Yes, it's very expensive, but it's really good because one of the cards that I'm going to look out for is Eldrazi, and you will see it. Eldrazi and maybe another Indestructible. If my Indestructible card is destroyed, then I can look for Eldrazi and Indestructible. I'm going to look with this one. So when I am searching my deck for my library for any enchantments, I'm going to look for any cards that will beef Sigarda up high. Just beef her high up. And one of them will be Eldrazi, and you'll see that one. Eldrazi is crazy. Gnarly. It's bad. It kind of... It's a shame if anyone can survive Eldrazi. I got a Plains, Forest, Eternal Armor. 1 Plains enchantment, creature gets a 1/1 for each enchantment I control, and has first strike. So, this one's really nice too, because let's say Sigarda's sitting out there, and there's a lot of enchantments. So you get 1/1s. Sigarda will get 1/1s for every enchantment. Excuse me. And that's really, really nice. I love that. I love that thing. Here's my forest. Another forest. 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 Plains. Excuse me. Plains. Ouch. Pardon me. Bastion Protector. Now this, again, is a creature that I only put on the field not for picking fights, though she can, because she's a 3/3, but commander creature I control get a +2/+2 and have Indestructible. So it gives Sigarda a +2/+2 and Indestructible. So then what I would do is, okay, Sigarda would be on the field. Sigarda is Indestructible. So then I would look, if I had the other, and search for my enchantment, then I would look for another Indestructible and put that on Bastion Protector, giving her Indestructible, while Sigarda has the 2/+2/+2 and Indestructible. So both this Bastion Protector is protecting Sigarda, and Indestructible is protecting her. So that's kind of a good combo. It's a good way to keep Bastion Protector alive while she's helping Sigarda. And with her, if you get her Bastion Protector to be Indestructible, you can kind of pick fights with her as well. Now that she would be one of the few creatures that I would probably pick, not not pick fights with, but I would use to start picking fights with, because once I give her indestructible and Sigarda's indestructible, I can just swing. Or I might not use her at all, use Bastion Protector at all, and just let Bastion Protector sit there with indestructible, because Sigarda's already... Sigarda supposedly is going to be beefed up already, so Bastion Protector is going to be the least of anyone's worries. It's going to be more, everyone's going to concentrate... everyone is going to concentrate more on Sigarda, because Sigarda is going to be the one that's got all the counters on her and got all the crazy stuff going on with her. Bastion Protector is just another... it's just giving her +2/+2 and indestructible. So people are going to kind of pay attention to that too, but the big one is going to be, everyone's going to kind of focus on trying to get rid of stuff that's helping Sigarda. Ghostly Prison is another good one. It's an enchantment. So creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature he or she's going to attack you with. So this is kind of a way to have your opponents not abuse you, and it lets you kind of work on getting Sigarda up there a little bit, while your opponents kind of have to figure out how to get past that. And it can be really, really annoying. And it really is annoying, because paying 2 is not bad, but it can get kind of annoying. Spirit Link is a enchantment, and it gives Sigarda or any creatures that deal damage life gain, and you just gain that much life. Unflinching Courage, another icon staple for any Sigarda deck. Enchanted creature gets a +2/+2 trample and lifelink. So Sigarda's going to have a crap load of lifelink on here. So depending on how many people and how long you can survive, if you can make Sigarda last long, you can get up to like 100 life or more with Sigarda. That's how crazy I have gotten Sigarda. Curse of the Perdition, an enchantment. Now I love this card because I used this card last night and it saved my butt a little bit. So every time a creature, your opponent tries to attack Sigarda, you can put a counter on Sigarda. And that's just tough luck for them, because that every time somebody attacks you, they're going to have to deal with Sigarda getting beefed up a lot. So little by little, Sigarda will get beefed up. So every time they try to attack her. Plains. Ancestral Mask. Just like the other enchantment that gave Sigarda 1/1 for every enchantment, well, this one gives +2/+2 for every enchantment on the battlefield. So for any enchantments that are on the battlefield, even your opponents, it counts. And Sigarda will get that +2/+2. It's really nice. Sphere of Safety, just like Ghostly Prison, but only different. This one is the amount of enchantments they have to pay for X amount, is where X amount is the amount of enchantments you control on Sigarda. So if you have a crap load of enchantments on Sigarda, they're going to pay a crap load just to want to swing at you. Sometimes it works where opponents are not going to be able to do it. Sometimes they can get away with it. Predatorial Hunger, another enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, a creature spell, you can put a 1/1 on Sigarda. So I had this one and the other one that when they tried to attack me, Sigarda would get a 1/1. So having both of those on Sigarda, it's really crucial. It's really good to have. So no matter what, even on your opponent's turn, when they try to do like trigger creature spells and stuff, Sigarda's gonna sit there and accept 1/1s, and Sigarda will gain life and toughness because they're doing creature spells. They may not do it towards you, but no matter what, you're still gonna get it. Sigarda's gonna get that 1/1. And that's a good one. Rogue's Passage, you get 1 colorless, and you can tap this, tap 4 mana, whoops, and Sigarda will become unblockable. So at some point, somebody's going to have to deal with Sigarda. Now, if you got somebody that's kind of a little pain in the butt, and they got Reach or Fly, and everyone's talking, oh yeah, I'm going to be able to block Sigarda, da-da-da, you can tap this and tap 4, and Sigarda will be unblockable. She cannot be blocked. So that's just a nice way of saying, kind of, well, you poked at me long enough, now I'm going to kill ya. Another staple that for any Sigarda deck, Privileged Position. This costs a little bit, but other permanents you control, including enchantments, may not be the target of spells and abilities your opponent control. Now, this one and another one that you will see on here go hand in hand. Having those two on the field will make your life better, and it will make your opponents really hate you. It's not the hate, it's just more, it kind of makes your opponents not really be able to touch you or do anything towards you. Any of your cards, your cards are just off limits. So it's really good. Absolutely, yeah. Pilgrim. He's a human monk. Yeah, he's a human monk, and he just gives me 1 mana. White mana. He's a 1/1. Again, this creature is not really used to pick fights. He's just there for the 1 mana. Ground Seal. Now, again, Sigarda's got a lot of stuff hexproof. But the more hexproof stuff that you give into your deck, the more your opponents are going to have to work hard to try to figure things out. So it's an enchantment, so when Ground Seal enters the battlefield, the first thing you can do is draw a card. Now, cards in your graveyard cannot be targeted for spells or abilities. So this kind of protects your deck from your opponents being able to do anything. Yes, it includes you too, sadly. You're going to lose some cards on the field, probably, at any point in time. Hold on. You're going to probably lose some cards. Now, if you got somebody that's on the table that's able to just move stuff around in the graveyard or play with the graveyards, this blocks them from doing that. And if you have the privileged position, then they can't remove this from the field or any of your enchantments, so this one would be protected. So it's pretty good. It kind of, like, right now, you're basically just protecting yourself from having your opponents do anything to your cards. And this one is the other one that I was talking about. Privileged Position and Sterling Grove go hand in hand for sure. It's the enchantment, and it says at all other enchantments you control cannot be the target of spells or abilities. So having Privileged Position and Sterling Grove out on the field for only 1 forest and 1 plains just makes it really nice, because your opponents are not going to be able to do anything to your enchantments. So no matter what now, your enchantments are going to stay. And it just really makes it annoying for them. Teutonic Edge is like Strip Mine. You get 1 colorless mana, you can sacrifice it, and you can take away a non-basic land. Sorry. So some of these cards are pretty savagery. It just Sigarda can get really annoying, as you can see. It's the most annoying deck to go against, but it's fun to play against. Spring Vines, again, it lets me grow mana from my field or from my deck, from my library to my hand. So, yeah. Primal Druid, another creature that allows me to put mana from my deck, from my library to the field tapped. Behemoth Sledge, a artifact equipped that gives Sigarda a +2/+2, gives your creatures +2/+2 lifelink trample, and to equip it, it costs 3. It's an artifact. Now, this next one, I really know I'm probably going to get some smack out for it, but it's not really much of a enchantment deck. I know when you add this, but I have to have the other Sigarda. I do have some humans, as you can kind of see in my deck, and Sigarda's Heron Grace gives my humans hexproof. And also, I can exile 2 cards, or I can exile cards from my library and put a 1/1 white human soldier creature on the battlefield. So not only will I start having other creatures that I can use to fight now or start protecting, but I can do it with this Sigarda. The Heron's Grace Sigarda gives me that ability. She's a 4/5, so she's not too powerful. She can throw punches. She's not really good with as a human deck. I just added her in here because I have humans in here, and if I can't get my other Sigarda out, then I can get her out and I can just use her, and she can still throw pretty damn good punches. Mythic Proportion, very expensive. 3 forest and 4 colorless. My target enchanted creature will get a +8/+8 and trample. That is going to be a crap load. Just a crap load. Now, real quick again, you don't have to add this Sigarda in here. Again, I just really wanted to kind of make that side note again. I just have the humans in there, and I really, because my deck is kind of a hexproof, life gain, mana build, try to kill as fast as I can kind of deck, I figured putting the other Sigarda in here would make it more hexproof. It would give hexproof to my humans. Now, the one card that I was talking to you about, Eldrazi, is the beast of the deck. It costs 8. It's a tribal enchantment, and it gives my enchanted creature a +10/+10, trample, annihilation 2. So whenever your opponent tries to block, they have to take 2 permanents and destroy them just to try to block. So if you put this on Sigarda, she could become a 15, 20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, this just makes Sigarda nasty. That just makes Sigarda not even fun to play with no more. Fairhaven Elf, again, another elf creature that will let me search my library, for mana, put it on field, and tap. Wooded Elves, I know I kind of got a little bit more elves than I do humans, but I have both. But again, same thing. Cultivate, sorcery, I can search my library for mana and put 1 land on the battlefield, other in my hand. Elvish Piper. Now, this one I really don't think would be one that a lot of people would add into their Sigarda deck. Sorry if I'm moving. But pay 1 forest, tap her, and I can put a creature card from my hand onto the battlefield. So if I had, say, my other Sigarda or a creature that would help, do something that I want to do, I can easily just do one forest, tap Elvish Piper, and I can put the creature card in my deck from my hand to the field. Wild Wanderer, again, another card that allows me to search out for land. So most of all my creatures are going to have abilities. Forest, 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 Syrian's Guardian, Angel, so she has Vigilance, and other creatures I control have Vigilance. This one I can pick a fight with. Some of them I should have corrected myself. Some of my creatures I can pick fights with. Some of them, the others I can't. This one, Syria's Guardian, I can really pick fights with people. Other creatures I have will have Vigilance, given Sigarda Vigilance, and she's as tough as Sigarda. And she's an angel, and she's not legendary, which I'm surprised. With that kind of power, you would think legendary would be on the list. Unquestioned Authority. Oh, another one I like. Unquestioned Authority will come into the battlefield. I can draw a card. So enchanted creature has protection from creatures. Everything. Really nice. I love that. So Sigarda, or whatever creature you choose, will be protected, which I normally try to do for Sigarda. One with Nature. Now this is another just one tap enchantment. So whenever a enchanted creature attacks or deals combat damage to player, I can search my library for a basic land and put that land onto the battlefield tapped. So whenever I attack with Sigarda, I can search for land. So I have a lot of ways to basically produce mana, and I will not be mana screwed with this deck at all. Oblivious Ring, it's an okay card. I mean, it's good because when it enters the battlefield, I can exile another non-land permanent, and when Oblivious Ring leaves the battlefield, I can return that exiled card to the battlefield under the owner's control. So it just allows me, like, if somebody's got a card that's kind of annoying or it's just really a pain and I don't want to deal with it, or it could possibly block Sigarda or do something to me, I could exile it until this card goes away, and then that's it. Indric Umbra, it's an enchantment. I can enchant a creature, gets a 4/4, has first strike, and all creatures able to block do so. Well, if I have, again, that Rogue's Passage, and Sigarda becomes a 4/4, they won't be able to block. Sindel Siege. This one I like. Now, I don't pay attention to the bottom. I pay attention only to the top. Cons. So at the beginning, it's an enchantment. So at the beginning of combat stage, I could put 2/1/1 counters on target creatures I control. So even if I don't have Sigarda, I can just do that for any creature, and I can try to make at least a little impact. I can try to fight a little bit and still not lay there and look like I'm going to take it badly. So I can at least put up a little bit of a fight instead of having to sit there and take abuse. So the dragons, if you choose at the beginning of combat, one on each opponent's turn, tap target creature that player controls. So I get to choose. So most of the time with this card, you're going to want to play the top. Search for tomorrow. Search my library for a basic land card and put that on the battlefield and shuffle my card. I can suspend rather than casting this card from your hand. You may pay 1, exile it with 2 time counters on it at the beginning of your upkeep. Remove the counters when the last it removed. Cast it without paying your mana costs. So that's not bad. It just gives me mana search. Indestructible. This is where either can go on Sigarda, Bastion Protector, or one of the other cards that makes Sigarda pretty disgusting. It just makes her mean. Forest. Common Bond. This one was not in the Sigarda list, but I got it. I can put one counter on target creatures, right? Then I can do it again. So basically, I could just put a 2/2 counter on target creature, and it doesn't say till the end of the turn. So that means that if I choose to do that on Sigarda, that will stay there for the rest of the game. Spirit Mantle, again, kind of gives her 1/1 enhanced protection from creatures. So that's nice. I like that. Dark Steel Plate. I do have this one in here because of Bastion Protector. Now, if I'm going to protect Bastion Protector, I'm going to use... I have 2 of these. So if I already have Sigarda and Bastion Protector protected, then I have another card that will give, for instance, other enchantments indestructible. Then I can use that on that card, or give another high-powered card, or I choose to be indestructible. It's an artifact, and I have to equip it. Costs 2 to equip. Collection, Blessing. I don't really think that one's in a Sigarda deck, but it gives creatures you control get +3/+3. So all my creatures now will get +3/+3. And that's really nice. It just makes every one of my creatures just become nasty. So even the ones that, like Elvish Piper and all the ones that really I don't use normally to pick fights with, I can now kind of start picking fights with, or use to protect and defend. Planes. Helm of God. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment I control. There's another +1/+1. It's an artifact, so I cost 1 to put out there and 1 to equip. So Soul Ring, you can tap Soul Ring and have it on there. It's a really good card. Kamitria, God of Harvests. Legendary enchantment, creature god. So indestructible. So as long as my devotion to green and white is less than 7, Kamitria isn't a creature. Whenever I cast a creature spell, I may search my library for a forest or plains card. I can put that onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle my library. I just try to use it for, again, search and mana. Mana search. Rapid Growth. Again, another mana rampant card. Search my library for a basic card. Put that into play tapped. Temple Garden. Enters the battlefield. I can pay 2 life, and if I don't, Temple Garden enters the battlefield tapped. That's okay. Now this guy I really like. I got him last night. Ajani, Mentor of Heroes. Planeswalker. So distribute 3 1/1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures I control. I can look at the top 4 cards of my library. May reveal an aura creature or planeswalker card from among them. Put it into my hand. Put the rest onto the bottom of my library in any order. And -8. I gain 100 life, which I did last night, and boy, was that nasty. So already with Sigarda getting life gain, and you gaining 100 life, that's just going to make it mean. That's a really good card. That's, I think, would be one of the only planeswalkers I would actually probably have in my Sigarda deck, the Johnny card. Boom. Grand Abolisher. Sorry. This is one that I really want to keep on the field, because this one will let uh, your opponent cannot cast spells or activate abilities, artifact creatures, or enchantments on your turn. They are only allowed to do it on their own turn. So it just keeps everyone under check, kind of not letting everyone do anything on your turn or mess with you. Which is really good. It's a 2/2, so again, not much of a fight picker. It just sits there for the ability that you don't want people to mess with you. Plains, forests, forests. Now this last one we're going to have you guys is Sol Ring. This is the 1994 version. It's the 24-year-old Sol Ring, the one of the original. It's basically you get 2 colors mana, and that's it. So there you guys go for my Sigarda deck. A lot of cards. I'm using that as a stand, by the way, you guys. So a lot of those cards that I showed you guys, you don't have to add them in there. Oops. I add a lot of them in there. Most all those cards that I have showed you have done quite a lot for me. A Johnny I got last night for about, I think, $13. He's a little expensive, a little cheap, but it's worth it to have a Johnny in there if you're going to play Sigarda. Or any card in cards like that are green or white. Most all of the cards that I have, I am sure that you could probably get online or at card shops and stuff like that. Don't have to do it the same way I do it. You can add into your own flavor, your own ways of doing things. But that's just my way of doing Sigarda. I choose this way to use Sigarda because Sigarda actually, I found it more fun for me to be able to pull out enchantments, or not enchantments, but be able to have mana out there as fast as I can. And that's kind of part of the reason why I have built Sigarda, my Sigarda deck the way I've built it. Because Sigarda can gain life, get mana, and get ripped. And it's really nasty. And it's a fun deck to play with. Now again, the other Sigarda, Heron's Grace, you don't have to add her in there. I just added her on there because I figured it's fun to play with. And it's really annoying too because, you get a lot of human creatures in there. You get some human creatures, even though the deck may not be worth having that in there because, the human creatures are little to none concern, but it does concern me because a lot of my creatures are going to have abilities that my deck will work with, and I don't want them to die or get hurt or killed off, so I need them to stay there to help build Sig. So I hope you guys enjoyed my lesson. I will try to do one where I'm actually dueling and you guys can watch me play. So remember, you guys, I love you guys. For you guys asking about my t-shirt, I got this from a friend of mine, a girlfriend. My girlfriend gave this to me. Let's Settle This Like Men, the old retro. I don't know where you can get those online. I don't have any stores or anything like that. So, but anyway, hope you guys have a good day. Play hard and just don't cheat. Love you guys.